Let's talk a little Colorado recruiting after back-to-back big visit weekends in Boulder. This weekend, it was headlined by Alabama five-star wide receiver Cedarian Morgan. Steve, what are you hearing on his trip?
Well, talking to Cedarian Morgan after his visit on Sunday, he said they got a great shot. This was my first time being there. I really enjoyed it. You know, he talked about the offense being able to play right away for coaches with an NFL track record. He talked about the scene in Boulder, being from the South, never being in the mountains like that before. He had a great time at Colorado this weekend. Alabama is obviously where my on-3 RPM is. You got Auburn, Florida, Georgia, some of the other programs that are squarely in the mix for Cedarian Morgan, but Colorado is recruiting him as a coveted target, and they gave him a lot to think about coming out of this visit.
All right, Steve, let's move on and talk about flip target Vance Spafford. This is an interesting one because as much as we talk about Georgia's recruiting momentum, you got wide receiver Vance Spafford out here taking visits, namely this weekend to Colorado. What's the latest?
Well, he said he had an amazing time, that it was incredible. He loved everything about it, how they play their freshmen, and he thinks it'd be an amazing opportunity to play for Colorado. And he said they're a top contender now. Now, Georgia, them landing Jared Curtis, that's an inch that helps them moving forward and keeping Vance Spafford in the fold. We talked about that this weekend. You got Miami in the middle of this recruitment, Washington, who is an undercover sneaky program to follow on the recruiting trail here in the 2026 cycle. But Colorado getting Vance Spafford on campus this weekend, being able to show an offense that was prolific in the passing game this fall, same with Cedarian Morgan, was exciting to those two top 100 pass catchers.
All right, there's a couple other big names on campus this weekend. What else you got for us?
Yeah, IMG Academy four-star linebacker DQ Forkpa says that Colorado is in his top 3 moving forward. Talked about all the things he can learn and implement into his game, just how at home he felt with the coaching staff and all the NFL scouts that float around that program. He really enjoyed learning more about Colorado. Colorado has been one of the favorites for Dorian Barney. He's a 4-star cornerback from Carrollton, Georgia. I'm not sure there's a player higher on the board for Colorado in 2026 for Dorian Barney. That's how much Deion Sanders and his staff covet him. He said the experience was amazing and that the fan base out there was crazy. And he talked about playing for legends and coaches that did it at a high level. IMG Academy offensive lineman Genevieve Carr took his visit out there, had an amazing time. Julius Miles is an exciting high upside tight end from the state of Florida that said Colorado skyrocketed in his recruitment. They said, come to Colorado, be a first rounder, be an All-American. That resonated with him. Frisco, Panther Creek, Texas, 4-star defensive back Donovan Webb tells me Colorado's in his top 3 moving forward as they battle Big Ten powerhouse programs like Ohio State and Michigan moving forward for him.
All right, sounds like it was a big weekend for the Buffs.